We got some major problems in the city, intractable kinds of problems.
There is no silver bullet or single bullet theory about how it will be addressed.
Problems that aren't easily solved with a wave of the hand.
I am very centered, very healthy, and very prepared for this.
Philadelphia is a birthplace of many firsts.
And yet these are folks who say, I'm all in. I'm diving in with both feet.
I run big things. I know about budgeting. I know about priorities.
We don't accept that that's the way things are going to be in this city.
I know about managing. These are the important things in leading.
We refuse to allow cynicism to rob our children.
There's not a lot of time for people to decide I'm not in it for real.
What always happens is polling and money will tell you whether you're legitimate or not.
I'm running for mayor because people and the citizens of the city of Philadelphia should expect more and deserve better from our city.
I believe we do need change in several role offices in our city.
This is about leveling the playing field. We have an unfair playing field right now in the city of Philadelphia. They're all out in Devon, Valley Forge, King of Prussia, and that's because of our tax structure.
As mayor, I will stop this open-air drug market.
And quite frankly, none of the current leadership in place is getting anything done to better these nightmare circumstances.
The political season is underway, and Philadelphia is in the middle of what may be an historic election season. I'm Bill Anderson, and in May, the Democratic primary will go a long way in determining our next mayor. But with so many candidates currently vying for the position, we want to make sure you have all of the information to make educated decisions. So we're now part of what we hope will be a transformative partnership with the Lenfest Foundation and concerned partners. Every voice, every vote.
How do we ensure that as we're moving coverage forward, that we're engaging and lifting up the voices of people in communities, that are the issues that are being discussed by the candidates are informed by all communities.
If you know anything about philanthropy in our region, then you've probably heard of the Lenfest Foundation. They're generally deeply involved, but with so much riding on our upcoming elections for mayor and city council, the Lenfest Institute for Journalism had an idea to form an innovative partnership.
Every Voice, Every Vote coalition, and it is a coalition of media and community partners that we've assembled, in run up to the upcoming municipal elections for mayor and city council here in Philadelphia.
Numerous media outlets and community groups have all agreed to work together in some capacity in an attempt to provide as much political information as possible to the voting public.
Up to 13 different languages where voter guides are being produced, and there'll be, I think we've got on tap over 160 some odd community forums, over 61 voter guides that will be produced. And so really wanted to make sure that we were touching the breadth and depth required to ensure that, our hugely diverse city had representation and had connectedness.
Fox 29 is part of the Every Voice, Every Vote initiative, and this special is an introduction to our plans over the next several months to cover the campaigns in a way that all communities feel as if they truly have a voice and access to necessary information.
Ensuring that, all voices are heard, and that, the issues that are being discussed are not just, what's important to the folks in Center City or in communities that are already, engaged, but ensuring that we are making the effort to, make sure no stone is left unturned in terms of outreach and civic engagement.
So join us as we introduce you to the candidates, learn about the issues, and work together to amplify every voice and every vote.
There's been a lot of outreach. We're beginning to hear from candidates that are reaching out to us through our Every Voice, Every Vote email, because they're beginning to hear the rumblings. Okay, there's this thing happening in Philadelphia, and we need to be a part of it.
So now you know about the partnership. Coming up, let's begin to meet the candidates. Now, over the last several weeks, we've attended multiple candidates' forums and outreach events, offering candidates for mayor the chance to introduce themselves to you in their own words. We made it clear to them that they had 45 uninterrupted seconds. Now, some were unavailable, some declined, and we'll continue to seek them out regularly so you can hear from them. Her bio says that she's a veteran activist with over 30 years of service to Philadelphia. Most recently, she represented the 7th Councilmanic District for the past 14 years. She was the first Puerto Rican woman elected to Philadelphia City Council. She is Maria Quiñones Sanchez.
My name is Maria Quiñones Sanchez. I've been an educator, a reporter, I'm a mother. Growing up in North Philadelphia, I love this city. I know what our potential is. The next mayor needs to manage a conversation about the future of this city. How do we deal with structural racism? How do we grow the city to 2 million people and take care of our most vulnerable communities? I look forward to that discussion because there isn't a challenge the city isn't facing that I haven't lived. I love Philly, I believe in Philly. I'm running to be the accountability mayor because there's nothing wrong with Philly we can't fix together.
She defines herself as a bold voice for the city, elected as an at-large city council person in 2016. Before that, she was known as a passionate education advocate and champion of underserved communities. This is Helen Gim.
Philadelphia needs a proven fighter who has spent all her life helping strengthen Philadelphia's families and especially its young people. I've made it very clear that, I'm a mom who spent my life making sure that our public schools would get stronger, that there be a nurse and counselor in every single public school, clean water, and new modern school buildings. I'm fighting to make sure, especially as we face a crisis, that Philadelphians are safe and that we keep them safe. That means getting illegal guns off the streets, making sure that there's a viable presence of officers in neighborhoods and communities, but also intervening for young people who are in the path of violence and providing real economic opportunities in communities and neighborhoods, especially in Black and brown communities and neighborhoods.
A lifetime Philadelphia resident who says his history includes being a city committee person, licensed minister, and businessman. He touts public school education and criminal justice reform as key issues and believes a vote for him is a vote for Philadelphia readiness. He is Warren Bloom.
Why do I want to be mayor? Number one is just to serve. I've been running for office for at least 8 times over the last 20 years. First time I ran was for city commissioner for voter registration. I have more public service than any of the candidates. I have more experience, I believe. And I just want people to remember my name, bloom in the spring, do the right thing. I'm from the hood, I'll do you good is one of my slogans. But we have to humor our way through this situation. If not, depression will overtake you. And if you're tired of the gloom, vote for Bloom. Thank you very much for your service and please stay safe.
He's been a business leader in Philadelphia for more than 35 years, with his bio stating that he's employed tens of thousands of people, offering opportunities to those who need them most. Perhaps most known for his supermarkets opening in areas defined as food deserts that others avoided. This is Jeff Brown.
I'm running for mayor because we need a change in this city. People are dying every single night. It's not right. It's really not right. And this has to change. We can't continue like this. And when I look at what needs to be done, my background is the perfect background to address our problems. My experience in running, a large unionized operation, my experience in the neighborhoods, we're going to get this fixed.
Now, that's just the first group of candidates. And after the break, the introductions continue. The Every Voice, Every Vote initiative is committed to making sure you know who you're voting for and you've met some of the options. But clearly, there are more. He's a retired municipal court judge who spent 34 years serving the city from the bench and believes that experience makes him uniquely qualified to address crime and violence issues. A longtime Philadelphia resident, this is James DeLeon.
I want to be mayor because I want to save people's lives. I am sick and tired of seeing over 500 people killed each year. When I was supervising judge of municipal court for 7 years, I led initiatives that made the gun violence go down from 400 down to 250 a year for that 7-year period. And after I left as the supervising judge, it went up to 400 and now it's at 500. So That's why I'm in this race, because I want to protect the citizens and people of Philadelphia from the harm that's coming to them. And I really need your help in order to do that. So thank you for having me here today.
She's been serving the city since she was a teen, starting as a council aide before being elected the youngest African-American woman in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives. Most recently, she served as the councilperson from the 9th District and Majority Leader. This is Cherelle Parker.
And I'm running for mayor of the city of Philadelphia so that I can ensure that we have a safer, cleaner, and a greener city that has access to economic opportunity for all. We will put people on a path to self-sufficiency and get them off of the poverty hamster wheel. We want them connected to workforce development and career opportunities and training that gives them the ability to earn while they learn. We don't want Philadelphians needing to depend on government in order to be self-sufficient. We want to give them the tools that they need so that they can take care of themselves. I'm Cherelle Parker, and I'm running for a safer, cleaner, and greener city with economic opportunity for all.
His literature defines him as a business, government, and community leader with 40 years of expertise, widely known as a real estate developer, along with serving as a 2-term city council person at large. His focus is to bring people together to solve the city's problems. This is Alan Dom.
I'm running for mayor because Philadelphia has so much potential, and I love this city as all of us do. But we have a public safety crisis. People don't feel safe going to work. People don't feel safe sending their kids to school. People don't feel safe coming home from work and going out to eat or going shopping in the evening. Some people don't even feel safe sitting on their porch. I came here in 1976, knew nobody, making $15,000 a year. I invested in the city invested in me. The city was great to me. I'm heartbroken over what's going on, and I want to run for mayor because I know I can fix these problems, but number one, it's about public safety. We have to get this under control. Once we do that, we can have good paying jobs, we can have affordable housing, we can take people out of poverty, and we'll be able to reduce the crime.
The first woman to win the city controller job. She has a history in various aspects of politics, including serving as a city treasurer and budget director. She says that she used her time as controller to identify many of the problems and now looks to help solve them. She is Rebecca Reinhardt.
And I'm running for mayor of Philadelphia because I love Philadelphia. And I believe that we deserve a government that truly works. I've spent the last 15 years working for the residents of our city. I've been the independently elected city controller for the last 5 years, taking on the city's toughest challenges. As mayor, I will tackle gun violence and make our city safer. I will make fixing education a top priority. And I will make sure our streets are clean and our city services work. Because here's the thing, our city is in such a critical moment. We need the right mayor with the right experience, courage, and vision. And I believe I am that person. Thank you so much.
He previously served as an assistant district attorney and deputy attorney general in Delaware before serving as deputy city solicitor and council aide in Philadelphia, also a Philadelphia at-large council person. His key issues are said to be criminal justice, housing, and education. This is Derek Green.
I'm running for mayor because I believe Philadelphians should expect more and deserve better from our city. We're dealing with issues of gun violence, issues in reference to not enough economic development opportunities, and an education system that's really not where it should be. As someone who's been an assistant district attorney, I taught part-time when I was in the school district when I was a law student, but also someone who's had a small business and has been a small business lender. Sometimes you don't choose the moment chooses you. That's why I want to be the 100th mayor of the city of Philadelphia.
So how do we make our decisions about candidates? What are the important issues, and how many votes will it take for any to win? With 30 years of reporting and political experience, Bruce Gordon explains.
These are all legitimate candidates, at least on paper. And so somebody is going to have to find a way to stand out from the crowd, to differentiate themselves, to try to figure out how to solve the opioid crisis, for example, or the out-of-control murder numbers in the city in a way that separates them from everybody else, because there are simply too many candidates to be able to run a standard campaign and miraculously rise at the top.
Bruce Gordon has 3 decades in media and following politics, and even for someone with his history, nearly a dozen mayoral candidates, that leads to a lot of questions.
Why do you think that many decided to do it, or at least now are in the race?
And this is about as challenging a time as you could imagine to say, boy, I'd sure like to be mayor of the city of Philadelphia. We got some major problems in the city, intractable kinds of problems that aren't easily solved with a wave of the hand, and yet these are folks who say, I'm all in.
Multiple candidates equals lots of voter options, but could also make it challenging to stand out in such a crowded field.
The two big issues that I think the polling suggests this, the two big issues are crime and the opioid crisis, and there's obviously some overlap between those two issues. How you present your message on those two issues is going to be hugely important.
Bruce also believes that our current challenges in the city means that simply restating old ideas, that won't be enough.
We are well beyond the point of simply saying, I'm going to bring 1,000 new police officers and put them on the street. For one thing, that takes a lot of money. For another thing, you'd have to find 1,000 police officers or 1,000 people who want to be police officers, which is no easy feat in this day and age. So somebody's going to have to try and figure out a way to send a message to the voters out there that they have a plan to solve, if you will, or at least dramatically reduce the out-of-control murder numbers in this city. And that is a lot easier said than done, obviously. If it was all that easy, somebody would have done it by now.
This many candidates also begs the question, will anyone receive enough support to be able to claim a clear mandate from voters?
16 years ago, Michael Nutter won a 5-way race, 5 legitimate candidates, with 108,000 votes. That was it. 37% of the total vote. Now, 8 years ago, Jim Kenney, in his smaller field, gets about 55% of the vote, but 130,000 votes. With a race this size, a field this crowded, it would not shock me if you could win a race like this with maybe a little over 100,000 votes, maybe as few as 100,000. That, I think, is a problem. It seems to me that there ought to be a mandate that you get 50% of the vote or more, and if you don't, then the top 2 candidates go at it in a runoff.
That's just not how Philly politics works. But in this case, unless you see the mayoral field thin over time, Bruce thinks you could see a winner receiving fewer votes than at any other recent election.
It makes me a little queasy when someone wins with 100,000 votes with 30-something% of the vote, and in this case it could be even lower than that theoretically. And once they win that, they've won the mayor's race because the general election is a foregone conclusion. That, I think, is problematic, and it's something that is very likely given this field.
It's still early, and although many are talking about the sheer number of mayoral candidates, stay tuned for what Bruce believes are inevitable surprises to come.
We are absolutely guaranteed going to see some real surprises in this race, and no kidding. What I mean by that is somebody, maybe 2 or 3 or even 4 candidates who on paper at least at the moment seem like absolutely legitimate candidates, but for whatever reason, they simply won't click with voters. We don't know who that is right now, but it's going to happen.
Fox 29 is a part of Every Voice, Every Vote, a collaborative project of the Lenfest Institute for Journalism. Now, you can learn more by heading to our website at fox29.com or theirs by going to everyvoice-everyvote.org. I'm Bill Anderson, and we appreciate the work of the Lenfest Institute and everyone who helped with this special. Stay tuned, as much more information will follow over the coming weeks. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.